What's good, Bears fans? Welcome back to another show with BearsMediaCo. I am your boy, Brent C. Check this out. Our Chicago Bears, after coming off a big-time win at home against the Las Vegas Raiders, we are going to L.A. That's it. We are California bound, about ready to play those Chargers on Sunday night. Now, in this game, we're talking about a Chargers team that, hey, great passing offense. Now, their defense, not too much to talk about. You know, they're about fair to middling. You know, nothing too special. They're probably right there with our defense, right? So, our defense against the pass, we've been trending up. Now, as most of you know, going against the Kansas City Chiefs, that pass defense didn't look ready for NFL football, that's for sure. But in the last couple of weeks, that defense have turned up and they've had some great plays. So I look forward to big plays from our defense coming up, and hopefully this is a game that our defensive line could get after the quarterback. Really, our Bears defense hasn't really done a whole lot for the whole season so far, but over the last few games against the Commanders, the Vikings, as well as the Raiders, you know, they haven't looked that bad. So hopefully they can continue on their ways as we continue to get healthy. Now, Eddie Jackson, being one of our big contributors, hasn't played in the last few games, so he's still on the injury report as of today, so probably won't be playing, still dealing with a foot injury. So to you, Eddie Jackson, we say, hey, heal up and get well, because later on this end of the year, we're probably going to be needing you at the top of your game. So heal up, and we look forward to seeing you back out there. Now, Tyson Bagent, backup QB, looked pretty good last week against the against the Raiders. So this week against the Chargers, he should, continue getting the ball out quick. And once again, we should be relying on our run offense. So hopefully the offensive line is up to the challenge. We got, going up against a couple dudes, one particularly who used to play for the Bears. So Khalil Mack, we know he's on the other side. And one thing about Mr. Mack, that guy, when he's on, he is on. And one game so far this year, he tallied 6 sacks in one game. So, hey, we might need to chip him with some tight ends during the game. But hopefully, we can get a solid line play going forward. And in this game, we're definitely going to need it. Now, as I said, the Bears' rushing attack was on fire last week. Between Dante Foreman and Darrington Evans, hey, we racked up over 100 yards of rushes. Now, can we continue it? We're going to see. And as I said, it all comes down to our offensive line. And on a bright note, our starting left tackle, Braxton Jones, hey, he's been cleared to practice. So hopefully everything is good with him. As some of you may know, he had a neck injury after that Green Bay game. So hopefully he's back for this game, because we're going to need as much help as possible. Now, we all know that Larry Borum has been in his place for the last few games, and like Braxton Jones, both of them have just, penalties. Now, we can't give any defense featuring a Khalil Mack and one of the Bosa brothers an opportunity to get to the quarterback. Now, we have a young quarterback in Tyson Bagent, as you all know, got his first win in his first start last week. So what will be the game plan this week? We're going to find out, and hopefully Luke Getsy, our offensive coordinator, hey, hopefully we get more runs just like last week, and this time, maybe, hopefully, we throw the ball down the field a little bit more. The Chargers are really not that good. The Chargers defense, I might say, is not that good against the pass. So, hey, this is our opportunity to really, stretch out the defense and let Tyson get the ball out of his hands on some deep routes. I mean, we have speed in Darnell Mooney as well as Tyler Scott and the underrated speed of DJ Moore, who is our number one receiver. So I look for this game where we can really, really get our wide receivers involved in the game. Now, that's not to say that our tight end one, Cole Kmet, we really need him to be in this game. So hopefully we can scheme some things where he can get some catches and use that big frame of his to take advantage of the middle of the field and get us, some first downs and hopefully some touchdowns. The last game against the Raiders, Cole had 0 catches as he was used mostly in blocking, so hopefully he gets a little bit more involved in the passing game. And hey, we could take advantage of his size against the Chargers defense that, like I say, gives up a lot on the passing side. So, hey, good for us, right? But as I said, we're a fabulous running team. So, hey, if we can do both, we can keep them off balance on the defensive side. And then that play action is going to just rip them apart. So we shall see. Now, as I said, the LA Chargers, they are a pass-happy team. And they got one very good quarterback. Now, he's got the stats. Now, what he will do in these games this Sunday, we will see. Because he's had some up and down games so far this year, Bears fans. So, hey, maybe, just maybe, we get a little pressure on him. Hey, maybe we can do something to get him off his game. He has one of the better wide receivers in the game, and he has one of the better all-around running backs in the game. So, hey, we're going to have our hands full against those Chargers. Now, one thing I got to say, coaching. Coaching has got to be on point in this game because, as I say, the Chargers, they can score. So, Matt Eberflus, our head coach, who's calling the defensive plays, hey, stick with the man coverage, and let's see how we do. I mean, we've got a solid team there on that back end and our corners and safety, so, hey, let's play some man. Don't worry about that zone, because when the Bears get in zone, other teams, they feast on us, right? So let's not do that. So here's one thing I'm going to say. I'm going to give you, for the first time, I think, this year, a score prediction. For this game on Sunday night, I'm looking at a Bears win, but I'm going to be close. Well, I should say the score should be close, so I'm going to call it 24-21 Bears. And the Bears win it. How? By a field goal with time expiring, thanks to our kicker, Cairo Santos. Right? Hey, one can dream, right? All right, Bears fans, let's get on to the next subject here. Now, one thing that we've been missing, well, I shouldn't really say missing, but one player that we have been missing is Roschon Johnson. The rookie running back out of Texas has really fit in well with our team. And finally, he's been cleared off of concussion protocols, so we'll see if he plays in the game. And that is something that, I look forward to because I'm a person looking at Chicago football, and I'm thinking running backs and big running backs. So both guys, Dante Foreman as well as Roschon, both out of Texas, with Dante being 6 foot 230 and Roschon being 6 foot 225. Hey, we need to beat that defense up of the Chargers and wear them out. So, hey, if we wanted to, by the end of the game, we're still in the fight, and that defense is tired. So, hey, welcome back, Roschon. Let's get it. Getting us ready for that Sunday game, let's talk about some Saturday games for your viewing pleasure. Now, first up, for you Bears fans, I want you to watch Florida State versus Wake Forest. Now, Wake Forest isn't that good. Florida State is ranked number 4 in the nation right now. But on that defensive side of the ball, hey, they got some studs that I want you to keep an eye on. Number 1, even though he hasn't been as active this year, Jared Verse, defensive end. Now, Florida State, hey, they get after the ball, they get after quarterbacks, and they don't allow that many runners to. Got to keep an eye on them. Another guy that I want you to keep an eye on is Josh Farmer. Now, this is a defensive tackle. He's about 6'3", about 311, 3 technique. For our defense, this guy fits the bill. Now, as I said before, Justin Jones will be a free agent at the end of the year as his contract is up. So, hey, if we need someone to replace him, I really like this guy. Has performed pretty well so far this year. So keep an eye out for him, Jared Verse as well. And then on the offensive side of the ball for Florida State, keep an eye out on that offensive line. Now, they got some big dudes on that line. And hey, they're very athletic for most of them, right? And then there's the running back, Trey Benson. Solid running back. Hasn't done a whole lot this year, but hey, we might need another running back for next year. Late rounds, if we can pick him up in the draft, hey, that'll be cool. But in reality, I would love for us to re-sign Dante Foreman, and hopefully we have a monster running back room yet again in 2024. Now, the second game for our Saturday slate is Ohio State versus Wisconsin. Now, we all know Wisconsin. They got some big boys on the offensive line. I mean, those guys, I think they average about 6'6", 330 pounds. You know, big corn-fed boys up there. But, hey, they still play that old school football. They run that ball almost 80% of the time up that way. So, hey, still a solid team. Who could catch you, you know, if you play down to your competition? They can rise up to the occasion and bite you in the rear end. Now, they also have one of the bigger running backs, probably could be considered a fullback, at 6'2", 240 pounds, Braylon Allen. And that's a big boy to try and bring down. And let me tell you something, that defense of Ohio State, they're going to be tested this week because that is one big dude. Now, this game is at 3:30, so, hey, make sure you got all your food done, got your grills going, you got your food coming off nice and hot. Hey, Ohio State, they're coming in ready to play. And also, Ohio State is the number 3 team in the nation, I believe. So right behind Michigan. So that Michigan-Ohio State game is going to be massive this year. Now in Ohio State, now you know, to keep an eye out on that left guard, Donovan Jackson, a player that I've spoke about before, someone that the Bears should look for in the 2024 draft. Now that guy, like I say, 6'4", about 310 pounds. Hey, he could slot in on our Bears offensive line as a backup because Tevin Jenkins will probably go back to left guard next year. So a solid backup behind him. Hey, why not? Why not? You know? So hey, there's a couple guys right there to look at. Another guy, I should say, the right guard. What is his name? Matt Jones, I believe it is. The right guard, so keep an eye out on him. For him, I should say. Now, this guy is a stout little guy at 6'4", 315 pounds. He's a solid player. A couple games that I've watched this year, he has definitely looked like a solid right guard. And hey, I know we have 2 right guards on the team right now, in Nate Davis and Jatir Carter, but having another a right guard for us, you can never have too much because injuries has been a big problem for the Bears this year on our offensive line. So hey, always have some good depth, right? Also, Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, we all know he's otherworldly right now. Pretty much can do it all at 6'4", 215 pounds. Let me get it right. Now, this guy, could do it all. Got great speed, great balance in the game, knows his routes, and got soft hands that will, he will bring the ball in and he will get you some touchdowns. Now, two other guys that you should be looking out for in that Ohio State offense, Mika Ibuka, another wide receiver, as well as Julian Fleming. Now, Fleming, he hasn't done a whole lot this year, mostly like a third or fourth wide receiver for the Ohio State. But, in pass, he has looked very good and has been very dynamic for that offense. So, there's another game for you to watch this weekend. And one more before I go, and I just realized my mistake, that Ohio State-Wisconsin game, that is a 7:30 game. So you got all day to get your cookout preparations together and your grilling needs taken care of, right? So at the actual 3:30 game, we have Georgia versus Florida. Now, this is a big game of the year for both teams as they play normally hard against each other. So, watch out for this one. Now, in this game, you're looking at a Georgia team that will be without their top receiving prospect in Jake Bowers, I believe, out with an ankle injury, just had surgery over the past week. So he's probably not going to play again this year. So that Georgia defense, if you know anything about SEC football, they're going to run the ball. And that means watch out for that offensive line play. Now, Georgia, they have my guy. They have the top center for me in Cedric Van Pran. Now, that guy, big dude, 6'4", 310. As a center, he's kind of large, but when it comes to the run game, he's solid, very solid. And in the pass game, he's pretty good too. I'm not even going to say pretty good, he's very good. And I expect to see him on our Chicago Bears in 2024, right? So, before I go, I want to say this. I have a good friend out there, got a YouTube channel. He's heavy on Twitter, but he is a X's and O's guy. Now, he goes by Coach T, and you can find him on his YouTube and Twitter. Let me say that. Under Coach T at 360 degrees. He is a dynamic guy. He knows his stuff. He used to be a coach for a few teams, I believe. Could be wrong, but I know he coached a little bit somewhere here in Georgia. But a very nice guy, and like I said, he knows his stuff when it comes down to the X's and the O's. So, give him a follow, right? And with that, Bears fans, I'm going to get on up out of here. So I hope you have a good Saturday. And as always, don't forget to follow us on all the social medias. We're over there on Twitter. We're over there on Facebook. We got the Instagram. And then we can go to our webpage, BearsMediaCo, and you can catch up on some of the blogs that we have put out over the last couple months, right? So, as always, as parting from me to you, peace.